So just this past Friday, Funko and Drop announced the next NFT set, which is Transformers Series 2, which people already knew about because if you had signed up with the emailing list, you got to know what the upcoming drops were going to be for the month of March. And so, of course, with the success of how Series 1 was, it made sense for Drop and Funko to do a Series 2. I'm DK Wrestler, and in today's video, we're going to be looking at the redeemables for Series 2 and comparing them to the previous Series 1 set and determining which series is better for the Transformer set. So let's get right to it. So first up, we're going to be looking at Series 1 of this set, which actually came out pretty much 2 years prior to when Series 2 is being released. So we have 6 redeemables, which that's going to be the same case with the Series 2 set, in which first we have the Grail, 999 pieces. It is a gold chrome Optimus Prime, which I always found that this pop was kind of lazy in a way, because obviously we've gotten a lot of Optimus Prime pops, but all they did was just slap a gold chrome version instead of just doing like either a different character or a slightly maybe better version of Optimus Prime, but instead they just slapped in the one color paint and that called it a Grail. Although I do find that making this pop, specifically the Grail, definitely made sense, considering that you probably would rather want the pops that are either in the Legendaries or the Royalty more than you would want this if you only had, let's say, 5 choices in this case. But then going into the Legendaries for Series 1, all limited to 1,550 pieces. First up, we have Devastator. I always loved the design of this pop, and especially the colorway to go along with it. I don't know too much about Transformers. I know a little bit about Transformers, but I know that I believe Devastator was comprised of various different Decepticons in one, I believe. So it's a bunch of different Transformers all mashed up into one to make Devastator, which is a really cool concept, and the pop looked really nice. And then another one of the Legendaries is Hot Rod, which was actually probably my personal favorite of the set. I love the design of this. The colors just pop out very well. And I know a lot of Transformers fans were excited when this specific pop was announced for the NFTs. It looks really cool, and I believe even the card design looked pretty neat for this too. Yeah, look at that card design, the fire all the way around. That's pretty cool. But then going back to the rest of the Legendaries, then we got ourselves Rumble, which looks pretty decent, and then we have Sideswipe, which also looks pretty decent. I feel that the Sideswipe and the Rumble, in my opinion, were kind of the lackluster ones as terms to the Legendaries. I think that the Hot Rod and the Devastator were a little bit better, even though I believe Hot Rod did get made into a regular Funko Pop later on with the 2-pack of, I believe it's Rodimus and Galvatron for San Diego Comic-Con last year, the year prior. I don't exactly remember, but still, this set was pretty sweet, especially being a super limited set. And then the Royalty, Freddy Funko as Bumblebee, which I always found that this version of Bumblebee just looked kind of awkward in my opinion. It's still really cool. People were excited about this pop, but there's just something about this that just looks very awkward for the sake of Freddy Funko compared to a lot of the Royalty pops. But overall, this still is a pretty decent set with a lot of cool new Funko Pops that haven't been made for the Transformers line previous, besides obviously the Optimus Prime that just had a gold color paint towards it, and then the rest just being new characters pretty much, with the exception of Freddy Funko as Bumblebee. Then we have the newly announced Series 2 of Transformers, which these are pretty decent. Starting off with the Grail, 999 pieces. It is King Starscream, which I know we previously had a Starscream Funko Pop that I believe was a Target exclusive or some sort of exclusive to a different retailer, but this is pretty decent. And the fact that this pop is also a metallic pop, you got the sticker to show it beside the piece count sticker right here, and that looks really cool, and the metallic effect does look nice. It is a specification that definitely makes sense in my opinion for Transformers Funko Pops, and I do like the idea that even though we had a Starscream pop before, that it's kind of a different version. It's not like what we had originally anticipated, I believe, or at least I had predicted when doing a predictions video, I believe last week on the channel, of what the set could be, that I thought they were just going to do a gold chrome Megatron to go along with that gold chrome Optimus Prime, but they went a different route, which I do like that aspect. The crown on it looks pretty great, and like I mentioned, the metallic specification does look cool. Then for the legendaries, I'll be limited to 2,000 pieces, so that is, I believe, 450 more pieces than the Series 1 set. But starting off with, I don't know if it's RC or RKey, I'm not exactly sure, but this is pretty decent, and this was one of the Transformers that I originally was going to pick for the predictions list of what I thought the redeemables were going to be, but I didn't end up going with that, but I should have, because then I would have actually ended up getting it right. But this still looks pretty cool. The overall design, especially like the lips that are added there, I think that's a pretty good attention to detail. Then we got Blitzwing, which looks really nice. The purple is a really nice color that stands out, and especially you have the yellow and red to go along with it. And Blitzwing is pretty decent because I believe Blitzwing transforms into like multiple different things. Like I believe it's a tank and also a jet. So that's pretty cool how you can get a transformer that transforms into multiple things instead of just one thing, whether it's a car or a motorcycle or something like that. So that's pretty decent that they added this. And I believe Blitzwing, I don't know if he was in the recent Transformers, but I believe he was in a Transformers movie, which I think is where they based it off of. And this one, I believe they based off the newer one. It's Cheetor. Looks really decent. Love the overall design, obviously with the cheetah. It is, I believe, while doing a little bit of research before filming this video, one of the Transformers featured in the recent Rise of the Beast movie. So it's kind of taking the hype from that movie and adding it to this NFT set, although this set, I believe, is based off the fact that Transformers celebrates 40 years this year. So that's pretty cool. All the colors involved, they just stand out really nicely. That dark blue with the gold, and you got a little bit of red, and of course the cheetah print. That's a really nice colorway. Then we got ourselves Ultra Magnus, which I don't remember. I think this may have been one of the pops that I predicted, or is Ultra something. I can't exactly remember, but it does look really similar to Optimus Prime, but still pretty cool how we have this in the set. And then the royalty being limited to 2,600 pieces instead of, I believe it was like 2,390 something pieces. I can't exactly remember. It is a metallic pop, and it's Freddy Funko as Grimlock, which I remember originally I had predicted Freddy Funko as Soundwave, not knowing that they actually already did that pop for the Heavy Metal Halloween box that they did for New York Comic Con. So had I known about that, I probably would have said Freddy Funko as Grimlock, but this still looks awesome, and especially once again, you do have the metallic specification. So kind of already so far, it's looking like maybe, just maybe, Series 2 might be taking this, but I still have to kind of sit and decide what I think is the better of the two sets. But yeah, this does look pretty sweet though. But I guess it is now time for me to kind of think it over on which set I think is better between Series 1 and Series 2.
One eternity later.
So it is the following day after I recorded that clip, and I had taken some time after especially watching some Gasolcast clips, since Chris is a huge fan of Transformers, to confirm whether I think Series 2 is better than Series 1, which I can say that this was probably the most difficult one I have done yet out of all the videos I've done between the Series 1 and 2, because they are both fairly similar, but one definitely is better than the other. And that is why I have ultimately decided to go with Series 2 over Series 1, and I'm gonna explain why. So when it came to the pops, as terms to the legendaries, they're pretty much, I find them equally the same. There are some that are great, but then there are some that are kind of meh. They're a little bit lackluster. I like Series 2 especially because you have RC, who is a female Transformer, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this may be the first female Transformer pop that Funko has done. I could be wrong, but a lot of the designs are equally as good in my opinion as terms to both legendaries from Series 1 and 2. And then when it came to the royalty, comparing both of those, I do like the Grimlock one a little bit better because I did mention how it kind of looked awkward of Freddy Funko as Bumblebee, but the fact that this pop also has the metallic specification, unlike the Bumblebee from Series 1, is kind of why I like it better. But it ultimately came down to a huge deciding factor is because of the Grail. Of course, as you see with Series 1, all they did with the Grail was take an Optimus Prime and slap some gold paint on it and call it a Grail. But I like the approach that they did here with the Series 2, where even though we did get a Starscream, at least it wasn't a gold metallic version, or like I had mentioned in a predictions video, at least they didn't go down the route of a gold Megatron to kind of go along with that gold Optimus Prime. I think still, even if it went down that route of that, I still think that Series 2 would win, considering that we have that metallic specification with the royalty. Anyways, guys, that is going to be the end of today's video. If you enjoyed today's video of me comparing Series 1 to Series 2 for the Transformers Funko NFTs, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know down below on what you think is better between Series 1 and Series 2, and I hope to see you guys in another video. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.